cell? Can you able to say that?
The discovery of cells.
So as we know that.
Discovery of cells.
Yeah, history of cells we have discussed in last class, who has been discovered and where it has been started, how they have got the term. That is all we have discussed in the last class. So as we come to know here, cells. So all the cells are the basic which has been discussed in the last class. So if we take any kind of plants or animals, all the living things, plants and animals, we used to call it as what? Living organisms. Correct or not? So that is why we can say basic units of, these are called as basic unit of what? Unit of life. Because why? Every animal, every living organism, if you take animal or plants, everything, both are called as what? If they are having life, we used to call it as living organisms. Correct or not? So all these living organisms is made up of what? Is made up of? Made up of cells only. So that is why we can say these are the basic unit of life.
Blocks of the.
For example, house means like our house. Our house is made up of bricks. In the same way, the living organism, the body is made up of cells. So that is why we can say cells are the building blocks of plants and animals. What we can say? Cells are the building blocks of plants and because every body, every animal body, every plant body is made up of this same type of cells. Understand? So and also I have taught you. So suppose some animals or some organisms, they have only a very simple organisms, we can say like amoeba, paramecium and all. They have consist of only how many cells? If you take amoeba and all.
One cell.
Amoeba, if you take for example, they are called as simple organisms, means like a single cellular organisms. So if you take the simple organisms like amoeba if you take, how many cells are present? Only single cell is present. Do you understand?
Unicellular organisms.
Cellular, understand? Unicellular organism or single cellular organism. Or else if you take the human being. So human beings is made up of what? Millions and trillions of cells. Understand? So that is what
multicellular organisms
are called as complex organisms. What we should call? Complex organisms. Or we can say that multicellular organisms. Means the organisms which is made up of more than one cell is called as multicellular organisms. Only simple organisms like amoeba made up of single cell. So that is why we can call them as what? Unicellular organisms. What we should call?
Unicellular
organisms. Even paramecium also. So for them, their body structure and everything different, and why they're having single cellular, and how our body is complex organisms like man and all. Suppose if you take even alone, our skin alone, our muscles alone, our bones alone is made up of thousands or trillions of cells, we can say. So that is why we can say, understand, these organisms which is having only a simple organisms like amoeba consist of one cell, and complex organisms like man and animal, they're having made up of trillions of cells. So from this we can make what is the, how we can define a cell, means the sense of a cell is the smallest unit of life. Is it yes or no? Suppose I will take my nose alone. My nose contains trillions of cells. My skin alone contains more number of cells. That is why I can say, we cannot see with our naked eye. Correct or not? Ra? Which we cannot see with our naked eye. That is why I can say, we can define a cell as a cell is the smallest unit of life which has a definite structure and perform a specific function. Is it yes or no?
Yes,
yes or no? Because each and every cell, we have a specific function and they have a definite structure also. So if we take most of the cells in our body, for example, because we are the best example of multicellular organisms. So a very small, which even cells are present in our body, which we cannot see with our naked eyes. So we can able to see that cells with the help of some instrument. What is that called as? Help of microscope. That is what you have to remember. And In this chapter, I will show you in the later classes, I will show you some highly magnified understanding images of the cells. When the situation will come, I will show. Suppose our cheek image, our nose image, highly magnified image is around 1500 times magnified image. 1500 times zoomed picture. That like the pictures I will show you in this chapter when the situation will come. So if you take within the cells of our body, that all our life activities only will occur. Suppose if you take respiration. Respiration means what? Releasing of energy. Correct or not? Yes or no? All of you.
Yes, sir.
So this respiration is carried in where? The respiration process is carried in where? Inside the cells only. Correct or not? Yes or no? So every example, everything, every activities of life activities of us will occurs inside this cell only. Do you understand, Ingra? So within the cells of our body only, all our life activities will occur. So that is why all the living cells, understanding, they will, if you are suppose alive, means all the metabolic activities of our body has been carried by the cells only. Suppose digestion of food, releasing of energy, transporting of excretory things, or else again sending back the carbon dioxide from inside our body and absorption of carbon dioxide. Everything has been done by some kind of cells. Is it yes or no? Because they are having a different structure and they will perform a specific function also. Is it yes or no? All of you, will you accept with my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that is why I can say within the cells only our body means all our biological activities or metabolic activities will occur. So that is why I can say cells are the basic unit of life. They are the basic unit of life. Now, so then how these cells will come? You are saying that in our body, hundreds of cells, not even hundreds, millions of cells will die per day. And same way, again, millions of new cells will be formed. But how this will form? Is it they are coming from dead cells or they are coming from living cells? Anybody? This
The cell divides.
living cells come only from other living cells. That is what you have to remember. So all the living cells, understand, all the cells will form from where? All the cells will form from? All the living cells will form or come only from other living cells. Will form or come only from other living cells. So other living cells, that I will say what is that process. At the end of this chapter we'll study how this process will take place and all. So other living cells only. So non-living cells cannot produce the new cells. Only living cells only will produce the new cells. Is it yes or no? Do you understanding or not? So that is what all the living cells come from. Understand? All the living cells come only from other living cells. So that is why we can say, since cells are the living units, they require some energy. Is it yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Living cells, so that definitely they require energy. So these cells, they will obtain the energy by burning of food or by combustion of food like glucose in a process. That process is only called as what? Respiration. What we should call? So this all the living cells, understanding, living cells, they need energy because they are what? They are living. So that for the sustaining, they need energy. Correct or not? Energy. So they will obtain this energy by burning of food. Burning means what? Not burning, firing directly. Burning means combustion reaction inside. Understanding? Burning of food. What kind of food? Burning of food like glucose by the process of what? By the process of? Respiration. What we should call? Respiration. Understand? So whenever the situation needed, I will say the respiration reaction also. If you want, you can note it down. Understand? So if you want now itself, you can note it down. So they will take the glucose. So glucose, they will utilize with oxygen. Understanding? And they will react. They will form energy. Understand? They will release energy plus carbon dioxide.
Sunlight and chlorophyll.
Understand? Chlorophyll not required. This is respiration. That is photosynthesis. Understand?
Okay, sir.
Don't get confused. Photosynthesis, these are the products. Do you remember? These are the raw materials, means reactants, and these are the products will come. But respiration reverts to the photosynthesis. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Be very careful. Shruti, are you understand? Shruti, ready?
Yes, sir.
Respiration,
Yes, sir.
respiration is carried out inside the cells, understanding? So which is releasing carbon dioxide and water along with the energy. This energy only will be stored in the form of ATP. We can study in class 10. Adenosine triphosphate. What we should call? Adenosine triphosphate. This is ATP.
Sir, I have already studied
Yeah, you already studied, but class
in chemistry.
have detailed structure. So this is what the respiration reaction, because all the living cells, if they want to live, they are living, so that they need energy. They will get this energy. They will obtain their energy by burning of food like glucose in a process called as respiration. Do you understand, Ra? So plants also, sir, plants, they are the producers of food. Then why they need? So plants, they not only carrying photosynthesis, plants also carried water. Plants can carry what? Both respiration and as well as what? Respiration and photosynthesis. Do you understanding, Ra? All of you?
Yes, sir.
You have to remember. So plants can absorb oxygen as well as plants can produce oxygen in the photosynthesis reaction. Photosynthesis reaction, they will produce the food, and the same food has been utilized by the cells in the process of respiration. But if you take the animals, is it animals are doing the photosynthesis? We cannot do photosynthesis. Only we can do what? Only what we can do?
Respiration.
Respiration.
Will be carried out only when we have green color pigment known as what, Shruti? Only the green color pigment, only, that is only when the photosynthesis reaction will carried out. What is the photosynthesis? That green pigment?
Chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll. So if it does not having chlorophyll, then photosynthesis reaction does not being carried out in our body. So that is why we people are depending on green plants. That is all you have studied in class 7th, correct? Nutrition in plants you will study. So that is, so this is called as respiration reaction. Glucose reacting with, if you want, you can write the formula also. C6H12O6. What is the glucose formula? C6H12 with oxygen, which will form energy plus carbon dioxide plus water. Do you understand, Ra? This is what called as respiration reaction. What we should call? Respiration reaction. Do you understand?
Respiration reaction.
Yes, that is. So, all of you should remember that. Class 10th chemistry also will come the same reaction in the first chapter. So, this is all about the cells. Now, let us discuss types of cells. So, as we know, if it comes to here, we have two kinds of living organisms. Mainly, what are that? Plants and animals. So, that is why we can say the cells are of two main types. What is that? Animal cells and plant cells. Yes or no? So as we hope, we have two kinds of organisms mainly. One is plants and animals. So like that cells also, what is the two types, main types? One is what? Plant cell. Understand? Plant cell. And the next one is what? Animal cell. Do you understand, Ra? Ready? So we have two main types of cells are there. One is animal, another one is plant cell. Now, sir, everything is living organism. Then why we are classifying into two types means because some parts which are present in plants, actually so many things are common between the animal cells and plant cells, but some basic parts of the cells which are present in the plant cell is not present in the animal cell. Do you understand, Ra? So that is why we should study what is the general structure of animal cell and what is the general structure of plant cell. Most of the things. Yes, most of the things. If you consider the plant cell and animal cell, most of the things which is present inside the cells are common. Most of them. But most of the things you can write. Most of the things are common. Most of the things are common in plant cells and animal cells. Correct or not? But animal cells. But few things which are present in plant cells are not present in animal cell. Do you understand it? So few extra parts or extra things are present only in these plant cells. So what is that things and why they are not present in animal cell? That is all we'll study in the coming these classes. Do you understanding all of you? Yes or no?
Yes,
So
sir.
now, what is this cell and what is the common things are present in this plant cell and animal cell? That is all we'll study in the today's class. So let us discuss. That is only which to called as parts of a cell. What we should call Ra? Parts of a cell.
Parts of a cell.
The different parts is present.
Sir, cell organism.
What?
Sir,
Parts,
cell organism.
I will say, yeah, parts of a cell we can call as, what is the small structures I said? Small structures called as what? Organelles. Correct or not? Understanding, Ra?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Organelles of a cell. Parts of a cell, or else you can say organelles. Means the small structures of a cell is called as organelles. Do you understanding, all of you? Yes, or
Yes,
no?
sir.
Yes, sir.
As we know that each cell is what? A very smaller. So each cell has, even though smaller, it also contains inside the cell, even much smaller parts are present in it. So some of the parts in all the types of cells, both the plants and animals, is common. But certain parts are found only in which plants are? Which cells? Only in
Plant cells.
Plant cells.
which are not present in animal cell. Do you understanding, all of you? So for example,
Yes, sir.
discuss. Understanding. So what is the basic parts of the cells which is present in both animal cell and plant cell? Let us discuss. Can you able to say, Shruti, what is
Yes,
the
sir.
Nucleus.
part
Nucleus.
of all the
Nucleus.
cells are? Important basic
Nucleus, Golgi apparatus.
important basic
Vacuole.
cells.
Vacuole.
Parts of the
Vacuole.
vacuoles important first, important only you tell me. Important basic parts of the cells, both the cells, like it may be a plant cell or it may be an animal cell, doesn't matter. So first thing, outer structure, called as what we should call, Ra? Everything
Cell
is
membrane. Cell membrane.
cell membrane, that is the important basic parts of all the cells are, first one is cell membrane. Understand, ready? First important part is called as cell membrane. What we should call?
Cell membrane.
Membrane. Can anybody, Johan or Reddy or Shruti, can you able to say what is another name of the cell membrane? Please. No, I don't know.
Sir, outer layer of the cell.
No.
The protection layer of the cell.
No, I am asking name, not definition. Do you
Oh,
understand?
cell wall.
No. Cell wall is different.
Sir, can you say the question?
Actually, cell wall is different. Johan, do you remember? Cell wall is present, understanding, only in a plant cells,
Yes, sir. Only in plant cells.
not present in animal cell. Do you notice it or not? So how you are saying
Yes,
that?
sir.
That is what. Even vacuole you are saying. Vacuole is present in only plant cell. Is it present in animal cell?
Yes, sir.
Vacuole.
Sir, animal cell also vacuole is present, sir. But in plant cell, vacuole is bigger than in animal cell, sir.
Vacuole. Small vacuoles are present in plants, animal cell, but large vacuoles are present only in plant
Plant
cell.
cells.
Plant cells.
So cell membrane. Now I am saying you remember cell membrane also we can call it as plasma membrane. What we should call?
Plasma membrane.
Plasma membrane.
Plasma membrane. You really don't know this?
Sir, we know, sir.
Very important one. Cell membrane also known as what? Plasma.
Plasma
Plasma
membrane.
membrane.
One is cytoplasm. Both the cells. What is the next one?
Cytoplasm.
Cytoplasm.
Liquid.
One. Mitochondria. What we should call?
Mitochondria.
Mitochondria. MITO. Mitochondria. Mitochondria. Main thing you are forgetting. What is that? Start with N.
New
Yes, sir. Nucleus.
What is that?
nucleus.
Nucleus.
Do you understand, Ram?
Yes,
Nucleus.
sir.
Yeah, that is what. So these are the common things which are present in what? Most important common basic parts of the cells in both plant cell and animal cell. What is that called
Animal
as?
cell.
Plant cell membrane or plasma membrane. Next one is cytoplasm, nucleus, and mitochondria. Do you understand, Johan? Note it down.
Yes,
Good.
sir.
Now, the important parts only present in plant cells. Let us discuss the parts which are present only in plant cells. The parts which are present,
Only in plant cell.
parts,
Cell wall.
yeah, which are
Cell wall and chloroplast.
only present in plant cell. Cells are. So what is that first one? Cell wall.
Cell
What? Cell wall.
Cell wall.
So cell wall is present. Ready? Cell wall is present in only plant cell or animal cell.
Plant
Only in
cell, sir.
plant cell, sir.
Next, chloroplast. What we should call?
Chloroplast.
Understanding?
Sir, plastids. Plastids.
Yeah. Next one is big nucleus,
Plastids.
big vacuoles. Big vacuoles or large vacuoles. Big R. Vacuoles are, we can say that, large vacuoles. Please note it down. So these are the present in where? Only present in?
Plant
A
cell.
plant cell.
So one by one we will discuss now.
Sir,
Yeah.
plastids. Nothing, sir.
Right. Large one. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, one by one we'll discuss. First, common things. Next one, only present in plants. So, what is the first common thing present in both the things, Ram? Both the cells called as? What is that?
Sir, plasma membrane.
Plasma.
Mitochondria.
We can call it as what? Cell membrane. Please note it down. First one is called as
Cell membrane.
cell membrane or plasma membrane. Note it down. So that
Yes,
is.
sir.
I will show you in our textbook also they have given plasma membrane, but I will also show you what is plasma membrane or cell membrane. Can you able to say? What is?
Sir, it covers the cells, sir. It
Yeah.
protects the cells, sir.
Yeah. For example, actually we will study in the structure of cell. When we are studying the structure of cell, how it is present, where the cell membrane is present, where the cytoplasm is present. That is all. By the time I will teach you, but now also I will show you what is cell membrane. So cell membrane is what? Outermost or innermost? Outer covering.
Outermost, sir.
Cell is called as what? Outer covering of the
Cell
cell
membrane.
is called as what? What?
Cell membrane.
Cell membrane.
Cell
Correct?
membrane.
So for example, I will show you the picture. In that you can see what is cell membrane, you can understand easily. So in this picture you can see, this is what some cell. I am not saying it is a plant cell or animal cell. Just you have to understand. So this is outer layer. This outer layer you can observe. Can you able to see this outer layer?
That black line.
Yeah,
Black line.
black line which is present on this outer layer. This outer layer is called as what? Cell membrane.
Cell membrane.
Covering the cell. Means which is like a protecting the all the parts of the cell is only called as what, Johan? Cell membrane.
Cell membrane or plasma membrane.
Yeah, plasma membrane. That is what you have to remember. So, what is this cell membrane or plasma membrane means? Remember, what is the functioning of it? Everything we'll study. So, if we'll come into the cell membrane, every cell, if we'll take the plant cell or animal cell, doesn't matter. A thin sheet of skin, skin like body. A thin sheet of skin is present. Thin sheet of skin is present surrounding by the cell. That is what we should call it as what? Cell membrane.
Cell membrane.
Every cell is covered by this thin sheet. That is what we should call it as cell membrane. So the cytoplasm and the nucleus, everything is enclosed where? Within the cell membrane or outside the cell membrane? Everything.
Inside the cell membrane.
Inside the cell membrane. Do you understanding, all of you? A thin sheet
Yes,
of
sir.
skin. Understanding, right? Definition, cell membrane or plasma membrane. What is the definition? First one. Every cell is
Sir.
covered by a thin sheet of skin. Every cell is covered by a. Every cell is covered by a thin sheet of skin is called cell membrane. Do you understanding, Ra? Cell membrane.
Yes,
It will take cytoplasm and as well as nucleus. Everything is enclosed within the cell membrane. Correct or not? So, or else you
Yes,
can
sir.
say, understand? So the cell membrane encloses the living part of the cell, which we used to call as. What is the living part of the cell called as? Anybody?
Sir, which is inside the cell membrane?
Inside the cell, we used to call it as living part of the cell. Living part of the cell. We have some name of this. I have taught you already. We used to call that name called as. I think not for you. Class 10th I have taught because present class 10th also same chapter is going on. That is why I have taught. So what is that called as? What is the living part of the cell called as? Any idea, Johan? Ready?
Living part of the cell.
This is the most
Sir,
important. So let us write.
sir,
Write it. The cytoplasm and nucleus are enclosed within the cell membrane. The cytoplasm nucleus is enclosed. Enclosed means what? Covered. Understand? Enclosed within the what? Cell membrane.
Cell membrane.
Yes or no? So now,
Yes, sir.
or else you can say the living part which is enclosed by this cell membrane, which is present inside the cell. That is what we can say that protoplasm. What we should call, Johan? Ready? Remember. The protoplasm, protoplasm. Please remember, very, very important bit. But I don't know why you are not studying. Protoplasm. What we should call? Protoplasm. Means the living part of the cell. The living part of the cell is called as what? The living part called protoplasm. Write it. The cell membrane encloses the living part of the cell. The cell membrane encloses the living part of the cell. That is only we used to call as what? Protoplasm. Ready? Very, very important. 10th class also it will come. Understand? So, this cell membrane only. What is the use of this cell membrane? It is just keeping inside everything. Whatever the living part of the cell is present, like cytoplasm and nucleus, everything is present inside this and it is protecting them. Means it is covering them, like enclosing outside of these. That is why I can say cell membrane protects the cell and also gives the shape to the cell. Is it yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So I can say that, see, for example, I have shown you this picture. It is having particular shape. Why it is having particular shape? Can you able to say? Why this picture is having particular shape? This is the cell.
Sir, because the shape of the cell is pure.
For example, if an example, see, if there is no this cell membrane, what will happen? This nucleus and this mitochondria, cytoplasm, the liquid which is present inside, will start flowing.
They cannot be protected, sir.
Correct or not? There is no random shape will be present. But this cell membrane is covering them and it is giving protection for it. And also, because of the cell membrane, what is happening? The cells are getting particular shape also. Correct or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That is inside the cytoplasm. Yes, sir.
I have a doubt, sir.
Yeah, ask me.
Sir, the cell membrane only can be in sphere shape, not can change any shape.
No, I am not saying it is not a sphere shape. It is not a circle. It is some random shape. Have you noticed it? It is not random.
Yes, sir.
This shape
It
also.
can't change its shape.
Yeah, it cannot change. The shape of the cells is always similar. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Depend upon the body, it will change. Suppose you see, heart cells is made up of some kind of structure. Maybe another skin is different, but everything they contain same kind of substances. Do you understand? If you take animal cells,
Yes,
all that they contain same thing. If you take plants, they contain same thing. But few things which is present in plant does not contain in animal. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That is so. Because of this cell membrane, two things is happening to the cell. What is that? What is that, Johan?
Sir, protection and the shape, sir.
As well as giving the structural means it is giving the shape to the cell. Please note it down, right? The cell membrane protects the cell. The cell membrane protects the cell. The cell membrane protects the cell and also gives what?
Shape.
Also gives
Structure.
to the cell. Gives shape to the
Shape.
cell. That is
Cell.
shape to the cell. You understanding the already?
Yes, sir.
That is very, very important. So that living part of the cell is known as what? Just now I taught.
Protoplasm.
The
Protoplasm.
protoplasm, sir.
You have to remember. So that is why they are giving the protection as well as they are giving the shape to the cell. So that is why I can say, understand? So this cell membrane, they will control the movement of the substances into the cell and out of the cell. Means what is the substances must go inside the cell and what is the substances must go out from the cell. Everything has been controlled by the cell membrane only, because cell membrane, how substances is present going inside and outside. Suppose you see something is coming inside your, means in the sense of so completely enclosed. Is it anything?
Sir, cell membrane can only allows which materials have to go out
Yes,
and which materials have to come
If
in.
it is not needed, they will be coming outside. Suppose you see oxygen is needed, so they will send inside. Carbon dioxide is no need, they will send outside. Is it yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, you please tell me. So I am saying that this is the cell membrane. For example, let me take this is my cell membrane. Now, how this oxygen and carbon dioxide will be exchanging? Is it, if it is completely enclosed, then is it possible to enter?
No, sir.
No. So means in the sense of cell membrane is having something. Means a small pores it is having. Pores means what? Tiny holes. Correct or not?
Holes.
You
Yes, sir.
understand? Tiny holes.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
if tiny holes means
From that oxygen come in and carbon dioxide.
cytoplasm will come outside, correct sir? No, liquids cannot. Means minute pores will be there. Only like gaseous substances can be exchanged. Do you understand, Ra?
Sir, it will allow only which substance have to go out and which
That is
substance
what you have
have
to
to come.
remember. Very good. The substances which is needed, it will be allow, and the substances which does not need, it will be sending outside. So that is why I can say cell membrane is having what, Ra? Ready? The cell membrane has
Have tiny pores.
tiny pores in it. That is what you have to remember. The cell membrane have.
Tiny pores.
The cell membrane. Slowly we'll study, no issues. But you have to remember, the cell membrane have tiny pores. Pores means what are it? Johan,
Tiny holes, sir.
understanding? Tiny
Yes,
pores
sir.
are made. So because of, through these holes, what it will do, Ra? Because of this tiny
Sir,
pore,
it will allow oxygen in and
controls the movement of substances into the cell and out of the cell.
outside the cell.
Do you understand, Ra? That is, please write
Yes,
it.
sir.
The cell membrane controls the movement of substances. The cell membrane. The cell membrane controls what, Ra? What is the function of this one, Ra? Ready? Control
To allow oxygen and CO2.
movement of substances. Movement of substances from where to where? From inside to outside. That is what you have to
Outside.
into the cell and out of the cell. Movement, M-O-V-E-M-E-N-T, movement of the substances into the cell and
Outside the cell.
outside, out from the cell. That is what you have to remember. Out of the cell. Out of the cell. So what is the function of cell membrane? Each and every part you have to remember. What is the function of cell membrane? It is having a
Sir,
tiny
the cell,
pores on its surface, so that because of that it will
it can
controls the movement
allow the substance go outside the cell and inside the cell.
to the cell and outside the cell, out of the cell. These two words you have to highlight it. Outside the
Yes,
cell.
sir.
You understanding, ready, Johan? That is, for example, sir, let us take what kind of substances. For example, if we'll take the dissolved substances, so for example, digested food, if we'll take. Understanding, Ra? Food contains what? Ra? Digested food also oxygen, correct or not? Oxygen.
Yes, sir.
So, if we take the dissolved substances like food and oxygen can enter into the cell. Why? Because they need to release the
Because
energy to carry out the respiration reaction. So where the respiration
Yes,
reaction will carry out, ready, Johan?
that to the lungs
Example,
And,
lung Respiration, not lungs. Lungs is only
Sir,
oxygen.
Heart, sir.
Reaction is carried out in respiration
Heart.
reaction inside the cell. Respiration is carried out only inside the cells. Do you understand, Igra? Carried out inside the cell. Inside the cells. All of you, do you understanding? So, respiration needed two substances. What is that? Dissolved.
Sir?
Understanding? Dissolved food means what? Glucose and also and what? And oxygen. So
Oxygen.
they will entering into the cell. Means a cell membrane will send the dissolved food and oxygen into the cell, so that they will release the energy. So they will release energy, and as well as along with the energy, we are getting some waste product also. What is that? Along with the energy, we are getting waste product. What is that? C6H2.
Carbon dioxide.
O- Yeah, O6 plus O2, 6O2 will give you understanding energy they are releasing. So, and also we are getting what? Carbon dioxide plus water. So, carbon dioxide and water is also both are called as extra products, but water is utilized by our body. So, the water which is produced in this respiration will be utilized by our what? Utilized by our body. But what about the carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide is
It will be
understanding. So CO2 is waste product which has been
and
produced.
it get out from our body.
Harmful to our body, harmful to body, so that it must be sending outside. So that is why again the sending outside, who will take care? Cell membrane.
The cells condenser.
So, and also suppose you see everything, suppose some poisonous like urine also will be produced, that is also will be filtered by kidneys, there also cells only will filter that. So everything, waste products such as carbon dioxide can go out from the cell through the pores of what, how it will go out?
Cell membrane.
Cell membrane, who is having it? It is having what? It is having the
Tiny pores.
pores. So through these pores only the carbon dioxide will go out from the
Our body.
our body, not cell membrane. Do you understanding? So these cell membrane separates the cells from one cell to another cell. Correct or not? And our surrounding medium also. So the cell membrane separates the cell from one another and also from the surrounding medium. Do you understanding, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that is what you have to remember, all of you. So what is the use of this? The cell membrane will protect the cell, will allow the gas
And give structure to the cell.
to the cell and
And-
out of the cell, and it will separate the cell from one another and also from the surrounding medium. That is what the functioning of cell membrane. Understanding? So cell membrane, what it will do? Cell membrane, understanding, separate one another, and also from surrounding medium. Understanding, Ra? Surrounding medium. So now, finally, you tell me. Finally, last point about the cell membrane. I am saying what is cell membrane, what is the functions of cell membrane, how it is present. It is giving structure for the cell, and it is having pores. Because of these pores, the substances, movement of substances into the cell, out of the cell. This all the things is called as cell membrane. Is it living or non-living? That is my matter. Please tell me. Is
Sir,
it
living, sir. Living.
Sir, non-living, sir.
non-living? Is it non-living, Johan? Is it, I have told you, non-living? If it
No,
is
sir, it is living, sir.
living only, please remember the cell.
It is also a part of cell, sir.
Yeah,
Living cell.
it is a part of the cell. That is why I can say cell membrane is a living part of the cell. Last point, please note it down. The cell membrane is a what? Cell membrane also called as what?
Living part of.
The cell membrane.
The plasma membrane.
So the cell membrane is the living part of the cell. Living part of the cell.
Cell.
It's all about the